September 1793. Revolutionary guards drag bodies through Paris streets at midnight, dumping them into a pit so vast the stench carries for miles. The Romans needed limestone to build Lutetia, their settlement on the Seine. They dug down, carving chambers and tunnels that would one day honeycomb the bedrock beneath the entire city. By the 1770s, the quarries had become Paris's secret liability. Buildings collapsed without warning into the voids below. Entire streets fell 60 feet overnight. Then came the breaking point, May 1780, the wall of Les Innocents Cemetery, packed with corpses from 6 centuries of burials, gave way. Bodies spilled into adjoining basements. The stench made residents sick for blocks. In 1786, the city authorized the unthinkable. Crews began exhuming remains from Les Innocents, bones of merchants, beggars, plague victims, nobles, and lowering them into the abandoned Tombe-Issoire quarries. They worked at night to avoid panic. The transfers continued for 73 years. Cemetery after cemetery was emptied. By 1859, 6 million skeletons had been moved into the tunnels. Workers didn't just pile them. They arranged the bones into walls, geometric patterns, even altars. But here's what the tours don't tell you. The public ossuary, the mile-long circuit tourists walk, is a sanitized theater. It represents less than 1% of the true network. The French call them cataphiles, urban explorers who slip into the restricted tunnels through hidden manholes, metro grates, and basement doors. They've been doing it since the 1950s. Some go once for the thrill. Paris maintains a specialized police unit, the Catacombs Police, whose sole job is patrolling the tunnels. They fine trespassers 60 euros, confiscate equipment, and seal breached entrances. What draws them down? Some seek adventure, some rebellion, some art. The catacombs have become their own world, complete with street names spray-painted on walls, established routes between chambers, and social hierarchy among explorer groups. But the network holds darker secrets. In 1793, Philibert Aspert, a doorkeeper at the Val-de-Grâce Hospital, entered the catacombs and never returned. Modern disappearances follow the same pattern. 2017, a pair of tourists bypassed barriers in the legal section and got lost in unmapped tunnels. Rescue teams searched for 3 days. The problem is geometric. The tunnels branch, loop, and double back in ways that defy intuition. Many sections flood ankle deep. Others require crawling through gaps barely 2 feet high. Then there are the chambers no one enters. Cataphiles speak of the Z-zone, sections where the air itself feels wrong, where compasses fail completely, and where even experienced explorers refuse to go. Some report hearing voices. The catacombs hold the remains of 6 million Parisians transferred between 1786 and 1859. Only 1 mile of the 200-mile network is open to tourists. The rest remains forbidden. The limestone quarries beneath Paris cover an area larger than the city above. But in 2011, a cataphile named Arnaud posted footage online from a chamber he called Room 17B. The city's official position is simple: stay out. The catacombs are structurally unstable, prone to collapse, and unmapped sections may contain pockets of toxic gas from centuries of decay. One theory: during World War II, the resistance used the catacombs as a hidden headquarters. The Nazis knew this but never found the main base. Others point to older mysteries. In the 18th century, the quarries were also workshops for secret societies. Freemasons, alchemists, and occult groups who needed places beyond the reach of church and crown. The deepest mapped point sits 90 feet beneath street level, but cataphiles insist there are lower sections. Tunnels that descend another 50 feet into complete geological darkness, where the limestone gives way to older, denser bedrock. What we know for certain is this: every year, someone enters the catacombs and does not return on schedule. Most are found within hours. Some take days. A few are never found at all. And then there are the sounds. Explorers report hearing footsteps echoing from tunnels they know are empty, voices speaking in Old French, the scrape of metal on stone from chambers with no entrance. In 2015, a group called the Urban Experiment Project spent 48 hours in a sealed chamber, recording continuously. The silence they encountered wasn't absence of sound. It was presence of something else. 3 of the 4 explorers later required psychiatric evaluation. The fourth, a documentary filmmaker named Marc Blondel, never returned to Paris. But the catacombs have claimed victims long before modern urban explorers dared the depths. The first recorded disappearance dates to 1793 during the height of the Terror. A doorkeeper named Philibert Aspert entered the tunnels beneath Val de Grace Hospital. He never emerged. 11 years later, workers found his body just 40 meters from an exit, his hand still clutching the ring of keys. The corpse was perfectly preserved by the catacombs' constant temperature and dry air. 40 meters from safety. The question that haunts researchers isn't how he got lost. It's why he stopped moving. The exit tunnel was straight ahead, and his lamp still contained oil. Since 1955, the Parisian police have documented 214 disappearances connected to the catacombs. 14 bodies were eventually recovered. 200 cases remain open. The official explanation is always the same: disorientation, dehydration, accidents in unmapped zones. But the unofficial explanations are darker. Urban explorers speak of zones where compasses spin uselessly, where electronic devices fail without reason, where the walls themselves seem to shift configuration overnight. They call these areas the white zones. The term comes from the blank spaces on catacomb maps, but explorers use it for something else: sections where the bones are arranged in patterns that make no historical sense. Spirals, geometric forms. In 1982, a team of archaeologists from the Sorbonne mapped one such zone beneath Rue de la Tombe Issoire. They found a chamber 30 meters across, its floor covered in a spiral of alternating skulls and femurs. In 2004, police discovered a fully equipped cinema deep in the restricted zones. Builders unknown, the Cataflix, an underground explorer group, have mapped sections the city government doesn't know exist. Temperature stays constant at 57 degrees Fahrenheit year-round at 65 feet depth. The marks weren't French, nor Roman. Carbon dating placed them between 200 and 400 BCE, when Paris was still the Gallic settlement of Lutetia. The Sorbonne sealed the chamber and classified the findings. No peer-reviewed paper was ever published. 3 members of that team refused to discuss the site. The fourth, Doctor. Her notebook was found 2 months later in a passage near Place Denfert-Rochereau. The final entry, dated the night she vanished, reads, "They're not bones anymore. They're a language. And I think I just heard it speak." Since 1980, a specialized unit of the French National Police has patrolled the catacombs around the clock. Officially, they prevent vandalism and illegal parties. Officers are instructed never to pursue suspects deeper than 200 meters from a known exit, never to follow voices calling for help if they can't see the source. In 2007, a rookie officer violated protocol and pursued a suspect into a white zone near Montparnasse Station. His partner lost sight of him for 45 seconds. He was reassigned to desk duty. The medical report noted no head trauma, no drugs, no neurological cause for the memory loss. But his body temperature had dropped 3 degrees in 45 seconds. The most disturbing accounts come not from police or explorers, but from maintenance workers who service the underground infrastructure. They describe sections of tunnel that appear on Tuesday and vanish by Friday. One foreman, who worked beneath the 6th arrondissement for 23 years, keeps a private map of what he calls ghost passages. Tunnels he's walked through once and never found again. He's marked 87. The catacombs exist in a state of permanent flux. Every year, sections collapse, new chambers open, old passages seal themselves. But limestone doesn't explain the sounds. Every patrol, every explorer, every maintenance crew reports the same phenomenon: the distant rumble of machinery where no machinery exists, the echo of footsteps that don't match your pace. The tourist route sees 7 million visitors each year. They walk the same one. 5 kilometers, see the same carefully arranged bones, read the same warning inscribed above the entrance. Arrête! Says Icy L'Empire de la Mort. Stop! They don't see the sealed gates every 50 meters. They don't see the motion sensors, the infrared cameras, the panic buttons installed every 100 meters in the maintenance corridors. They don't see what those systems are really monitoring. In the deepest chamber of the public route, there's a pool of water called the Fontaine de la Samaritaine. A sign warns visitors not to drink. 6 million dead rest beneath the City of Light. 300 kilometers of tunnel honeycomb the foundation of Paris. And every year, someone walks into the darkness and doesn't come back. The catacombs are patient.